session is understanding CTQ. Already we spoke about it, critical to quality, but now I want all of you to have a proper clarity so that in any given scenario, you will be able to, distinctly, make the people understand, yes, this is what I'm trying to do. If you want to make a comparison, yes, you will definitely be able to make a fair comparison. Let's say I have two laptops. I want to differentiate one from the other. And I wanted to claim that a particular laptop is faster than the other laptop. Now tell me, which is the metric I should look at now?
Speed.
That's what
Uh,
speed. Yeah,
uh,
that speed is, yes, customer's voice, a normal, vague expression. But technically, this particular laptop is faster than the other laptop. There are two laptops. So how can you prove?
Processor.
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 Processor. You have to say processor speed, isn't it? When I say processor speed, their definition exists. Yes or no? A unit of measurement exists. Maybe some computer science IT engineer here. Tell me how can you measure processor speed? How is it expressed in some units?
Seconds.
Seconds. Okay, that is one way. I think they talk in terms of some megahertz or something, isn't it? So that is written next to it. Unless and until you find out one such metric, you can only talk, approximately. You can't talk, the express your requirement, or the pain metric in a accurate manner. So a unit of measurement is required. Let's say, you all know A4 sheet. Am I right?
yes.
There are different companies making A4 sheet for use in a printer. And now suddenly you realize, your papers are very frequently getting stuck in the printer machine. So some improvement is required. The printing job is, getting disrupted very frequently. Now, the problem could be either with the printer or with the paper. Am I right? Suppose if the problem is with the paper, now what is your how will you initiate your discussion further here? How will you end up buying a best paper?
Thickness of the paper. GSM.
Thickness of the paper. And now he has come to another important point, GSM. What does it mean? GSM stand for
Grams per square
grams
meter.
per square meter, right? So there is 70 GSM, there is 60 GSM, there is 80 GSM. And now you are able to choose which is the best. At the same time, you can also make a proper decision comparison on the price also. Yes or no? Otherwise, you might think that always the low priced is better or high priced is better. But actually, which is better? The GSM, isn't it? So the GSM is the metric. And your requirement is now very clear. The GSM should be minimum 70. Your printer can operate well if the GSM is minimum 70. Now you very well know that the lower spec is 70 GSM. And upper also there could be a limit, yes or no? Upper also there could be a limit. So once you know that, you can always ensure your printer operates in an error-free manner. Problem is getting resolved by properly gaining the CTQ. Yes or no? Very good. So there are several other scenarios, you can consider. Like let's say the water bottle. And the customer, one important requirement of customer from the water bottle is the cap must be easily openable. Yes or no? If you buy a water bottle, you need to drink water, right? Then cap should be easily openable. Ladies also use the water bottle. Gents also use the water bottle. So if you keep the water bottle cap so tight, nobody will prefer your water bottle later on because anyway message will spread in the long run. If you keep it, very loose, then what will happen?
Water spill.
Leakage.
Water will leak. Now, what is the metric you need to fix now?
Leak
Because
time.
ultimately your process is automated, isn't it? Ultimately your process is automated. So you have to talk to the machines now. Your machine should take care of the requirement, yes or no? So you can talk to the machines only in a mathematical language, programming language, yes or no? So metrics are absolutely essential. Now, what is the metric right now bothering you?
Diameter of the cap or the opening.
Is diameter of the cap, okay.
Thread size and the cap.
Thread size, okay. Very good. These are all factors, definitely. But finally, when it goes to the customer, what are they telling you? I'm finding it hard to open the bottle. How do you open the bottle? By twisting it. They want to apply a force, a twisting force, and then it should, open quickly. Till that moment, it should stay, very tacked, and there, there should not be any leakage. That means the torque required to open the bottle, yes or no?
Yes.
If you just take care of, the torque required to open the bottle at the appropriate limit, problem is, taken care. There are no customer complaints. Your product will do very well in the market. So this is what is known as CTQ. A customer requirement is considered to be understood only if you identify the technical, metric. The requirement, the vague requirement of the customer should be converted into technical requirement. The torque and all you can express your customer to know, use those words. You have to find out. And then for every requirement, sometimes, there can be multiple metrics needs to be monitored. Am I right? Sometimes for a single requirement, multiple metrics needs to be monitored. You have to list down all the metrics. This is known as CTQ drill down. CTQ drill down. And now for each of the metric you arrive now, you should be able to write down a definition. You should be able to write down a definition. And then you should be able to write down a formula to measure it. After the definition, you should be able to write down a formula. After writing down the formula, you should be able to assign a unit of measurement. You should be able to assign a unit of measurement. Afterwards, you should be able to understand what is the lowest limit which, customer can tolerate. This particular metric, to how much low it can go and how much, high it can go. So you perfectly understand the specification limits as expected by the customer. Am I right? Let's say you want to buy an apartment for your family. When you go to the particular location, the real estate marketing people are showing you 2 apartments. Now you have to make a proper comparison, and finally you must ensure you buy the best one for your family. And now, do you understand certain CTQs here? CTQs are required to be compared before making the buying. At the outside, both looks, same. Imagine at the outside, both looks the same. Both are, 1,500 square feet flat. But inside, there are, differences. And now you have to make a fair comparison. Now, do you think you need some numbers now to make a wise decision?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right? What is the square feet area of the building and what is the height between, the, the ground to roof, right? And then there are many things. If you actually look at the, what you call the builder's contract document, you see so many specifications coming. Then only you realize and which one is, best for you. So this exercise is required. This exercise is required. And I want all of you have a deeper understanding. Right now, I am using a mic in front of me. I want to choose the best mic for me. If you are the green belt or black belt going to help me, tell me how will you recommend me a microphone? Will you just select the microphone based on the color and so that my requirement will be taken care?
No.
If you are going to make a choice of the microphone based on the price, will you solve my problem? So what is my requirement here?
Clear audio.
Clear?
Audio.
Whatever I speak, it should be clearly audible. That's one requirement. Is there a way to measure the audibility? Is there a way to test it? If you are in such a field, all of them becomes your headache. Yes or no? I can simply talk and then leave the matter to you because you are in that field. You are the subject matter expert now. You are selling all these, mics and electronic devices. Now it is your headache to find a measurability. And then always they talk about noise cancellation. And now what is noise cancellation and what is the customer requirement there? How can I measure the noise cancellation of one mic with the other mic?
Decibel.
Decibel. So when everything starts from the customer's voice, if some other noise, sound is coming from the nearby location, my mic should not capture. Yes or no? That is noise cancellation. This is how customer speaks. So how much distance? So what kind of the sound it should capture and then transmit, right? From the surrounding, and what should be the distance of that surrounding from where it can actually transmit the sound. Maybe it might say anything within 1 meter distance of the mic. Yes, this mic will capture and then transmit. And anything outside 1 meter, it will not capture. And now this 1 meter is helping you a lot, yes or no? You understand how it functions. Suppose if some other company comes, sir, you don't even go for 1 meter. Just half a meter is enough because you are sitting closer to the mic. Why do you want to receive signal from 1 meter distance? Not required. You are just 1 feet away. So now another company comes and says, it is just 0.25 meters, just 1/4 distance from the position of the mic. From there only it will receive the signal. All other sources, even if you shout, it will not receive something. So now we better understand. Clear? So we are bringing measurability. So this is how you must understand the CTQ. And similarly, suppose imagine a call center, a bank running a call center, and all the customers who are making calls to the call center, they are saying that your customer service is poor. Customer service is poor. And now, actually, what went wrong? Actually, what went wrong? You need to actually uh, further understand. Customer simply said, the customer support is very poor. But what actually went wrong? Then if you conduct a survey in a detailed manner, then you realize the specific issues your customers are facing. Yes or no? But in general, it is customer support is poor. It is not at all actionable. If somebody says, no, it is poor, you must again probe them with the right questions. Sir, what exactly went wrong? Is that, your customer support poor means, did you visited our customer support office or did you call them? Sir, I made a call and the response is poor. And now you understand the problem is with your call center. All right. And then what again further, what was the exact issue? Now you are telling, now the customer is telling that, no, they are not answering the calls. They are not answering the call. I called 10 times and all 10 times, they are only putting me on hold. Right. And then every time I make a call, somebody comes on the line only after putting me on hold for 20 minutes of time. Now, do you understand the problem?
Sir,
What is the metric now, which is actually causing dissatisfaction? What is the
Wait time.
metric that is frustrating your customer?
Wait time.
Waiting
Response
time.
time.
Call waiting time, or you can even give the right naming for it. Call holding time. Your call is connected, but then the real executive doesn't come and say hello. Do you understand? Only the recorded voice keep on playing. The recorded voice says, keep on tells that your call is very important to us and you will be attended shortly. But what is the holding time? 20 minutes. If it is very important to them, why should they take 20 minutes to allot an executive? So that is now the pain metric is call holding time. And now you will be able to define a call holding time, all of you. Yes or no?
Sir.
Will you be able to define one such definition right now in the chat box? You can make use of the chat GPT and all the technology, AI-based, AI power you can use. Will you be able to write down a proper definition for call holding time? All of you, can you do the exercise? Please take a minute. Go to Google and try to come with a very unambiguous definition. Everybody should be able to understand what are you writing. At least your project team member. Because call holding time you want to reduce. That is your project goal. So try to write a definition. 1 minute. And put it in the chat box. You can put it in the chat box when it is ready. Nasir said the duration of time a caller has wait for a call center agent to answer is known as call hold time. Very good. Amount of time consumer is put on hold to connect with a support agent. Good. The total amount of time a caller spends in an agent initiated hold status. The total amount of time a caller spends in an agent initiated hold status. Okay. So an agent has initiated the hold status and then customer is put there. The amount of time for which a call center agent puts a customer on a hold. Very good. Call holding time refers to the duration a caller spends on a call from the moment it is answered until it is terminated. On a call from the moment it is answered. See here, Rajesh Shekhar's definition is differing from others. Can you see that?
Yes, sir.
So problem understanding is very, very important. And just simply picking a definition from Google or a dictionary may not serve sometimes. This is something different. He is talking about call duration. He is talking about call duration. But the problem, the pain area is call holding time. And nobody is there to speak to me. I am only, alone there. So now that all of you are able to write down the definition. Now, please tell me, will you, if I ask you to write it in the form of, let us say, no, I wanted to measure it now. Now the call holding time I want to measure. Now in a day, how many customers will be calling to your call center?
Hundreds.
Several hundreds, several thousand. Now you are the center manager. Now how will you understand that your customers are getting frustrated? How much is the frustration or how much is the satisfaction? You want to understand. Tell me a formula by which I can actually measure the metric statistically in a right manner so that I can understand the frustration being experienced by the customer or the percentage of customers who are going through the pain. Can you tell me one metric? You have to collect the data, yes or no? Because you are the manager. Now, what data you will collect? What formula will you use? And then tell me which metric you will show it to your boss so that to make some changes in the process.
Can it be total amount of time on hold versus total time on the call?
Very good. He is now going for a kind of ratio. What is the whole time and what is the total time?
What is the total
You
time?
are going to calculate this for every customer.
Yeah, every customer or maybe total for a day also. That is also possible.
Okay. But will it really allow you to understand, whether the process is going on well or not? Just think
Because
in that
customer
direction.
feedback rating.
See, call duration, some customer, can stay on the call for a longer time. Some customer, can quickly complete the conversation. It's all possible. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Irrespective of the call duration, the problems happens for everyone. Yes or no?
Yes.
So there is no point of bringing the call duration here. It may divert you. It may direct you in the wrong direction. So better you capture only the holding time for all the calls. Right? Don't compare it against the total call duration. Because the ratio wise, the problem might look, smaller. But actually, even though I have a conversation for 30 minutes, still putting me for 20 minutes, is irritating for me. Another customer, I have a conversation for just 2 minutes, but for me also, they put me on hold for 20 minutes. Do you understand? So, call holding time has to be recorded for every single call. Clear, all of you?
Sir, I have one point. So
Yes.
if now many customers like Airtel or in real life also they'll be calling. So we'll be measuring the effectiveness. So is it like this calls answer to the requirement divided by duration of the call?
Whether the call is answered correctly or not, that is your point, right? So that is another requirement. Now let us go to the requirement one by one.
Okay.
we started our discussion on the time put on hold. That is definitely one of the CTQ. I'm not saying that that is the only CTQ. And if you ask a question and I give an irrelevant answer, that will also frustrate you, right? So that is another CTQ. But we have to include everything, we have to bring everything under our measurement process. Now I'm trying to educate you on the call holding time. So for every single customer, record the call holding time. It is easy to record, yes or no? Today we have a
Yes.
system.
Yes,
When
sir.
the call is actually connected, when the executive actually comes online. Will you be able to capture these two moments?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Your system can capture and then record it. And in a day, 1,000 people called your call center. Do you want to look at all the 1,000 data one by one, or would you like to perform some calculate some statistics and have a look at it, which can give a better picture of what happened throughout the day?
Pull out a sample from the population.
No, pulling out sample is one thing, but here, system has recorded the data for all the population, all the 1,000 people, the system has recorded. Now the data is readily available in your Excel. So what I suggest you is look at the average call holding time. Look at the average call holding time. And if on an average, if the call holding time is, let is found to be above 30 minutes. And now you can set a goal that the call center team should be able to bring down this call holding time from above 30 minutes to below 10 minutes. That is the project goal. You do everything that is required. Do you get my point, all of you? Yes, Satish?
Sir, because we are trying to calculate the customer pain, why is it average, not maximum holding time? Like we can sort by descending of the data and then pick the top
Okay.
pains.
You want to only satisfy the person who is, getting frustrated to the maximum level, or do you want to give a solution to everyone?
Everyone.
Everyone. So that means, always, majority of the customer, see normal distribution, what does it say? Majority of the data points will be around the average. So you first work on bringing down the average from more than 30 to less than 10. So
Okay.
majority of the complaints will get arrested, 80-20 rule. Then again, you can reinitiate the project again, and again you can bring it below.
Bring it down.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely. I see if I am able to bring down the average, it means majority of the calls are getting completed less than 10 minutes. So that way I feel, average can help you to better understand what's exactly happening in your process. Clear?
Okay, sir. Yes.
The other way is, yes, you can try to bring down the, what do you call, the maximum. You bring down the maximum also, and have a look at, what is your minimum. Further bring down your minimum call duration. So these are all different ways of thinking, but since the problem is happening at a higher intensity, thousands and thousands of people experiencing the problem, and initially you decide to start with reducing the average call holding time, which is currently more than 30 minutes. And our goal is to bring it below 10 minutes, because we have given a commitment to our customers, saying that a call will be answered, in less than 10 minutes. And so there is a commitment, and so we have to honor it. So now the pain metric is understood, and then the thing is brought. And now will now you also have a system to record the start point and end point of the call holding time. And the unit of measurement will be, can be in minutes or can be in seconds, whichever makes sense to your customer and to your project. Right? I think initially minutes will do. So anything less than 10 minutes is definitely okay for me. So unit of measurement is made clear. If the customer requirement is call holding time less than 10 minutes, what is the upper spec now?
10 minutes. We need to
10
get the
minutes.
tolerance.
And lower spec? Lower spec?
0.
Zero. Now your project goal is to bring the average call holding time to appear in this limit. If your average comes to 9 minutes, again the risk of some experience or some customers getting frustrated is higher, because your average is closer to 10. Bring the average further down. Now all the maximum cases will also get resolved. All of you understand? You all wrote the definition. And now what is the metric we have identified based on our understanding on the call holding time? Can you type that metric in the chat box now, all of you? What is the metric, project metric now? What is the project metric now?
Average call holding time.
Please type it in the chat box, all of you. Average call holding time is our project metric. The why is understood. Please type it in the chat box. Average call holding time. And now for the average call holding time, will you be able to, after typing down the name of the average call, name, average call holding time, will you now be able to type down the formula to calculate it? Come on. Try and write a formula in the chat box. Average call holding time is equal to what is the formula? What should you write in the numerator? What should you write in the denominator? Average call holding time is equal to what? Sum of all call holding time divided by total calls. Very good. Total holding time divided by number of calls. You now have a formula, isn't it? So
Yes.
people just cannot escape from doing what is required. Do you understand? Every call center and every agent has to declare their average call holding time. Now you will be able to compare agent to agent, yes or no? Which agent is maintaining higher call holding time? You got to work with that agent. So problems, becomes measurable. Making the problem measurable later on, the same thing will make it, actionable. You can take the right actions. And now somebody has written it very clearly. Upper spec and lower spec. It has to be called as USL, LSL, not HSL. USL is according to the project. Please note, according to the project, USL is 10 minutes. LSL is 0 minutes. Perfect. And now, what is the current state of the problem? What is the current state of the problem? Average call holding time is, tell me a number.
30 minutes.
30 minutes. So current state of the problem is 30 minutes. That is the problem. Use all these, terminologies, numbers while drafting your project charter. And the person who is trying to, who will be approving your project proposal will definitely be pleased enough to give the support. Yes or no?
Yes,
Am I
sir.
right?
Yes.
So you have the definition. You have identified the statistics that is to be used. You have written down the formula and you have indicated the unit of measurement. Minutes will do. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Using the minutes as a unit of measurement will definitely is enough. You don't require a higher resolution of measurement now. Measuring it in minutes will do, but we can measure up to seconds very easily. So not at all an issue. And then upper limit and lower limit are understood. What else you want? What are the actions you need to take? What is the root cause? Don't worry about it. Because where are you right now? You are in the define phase. And what is the problem we are trying to solve? Only call holding time. Whether the query is resolved or not, that is out of scope. Can you understand? Can you see that, all of you? I made a call to the customer and my query is not resolved. But still, they did not put me on hold for more than 10 minutes. Customer is given a guarantee that your call will be connected always in less than 10 minutes. All of you, can you see that?
Yes, sir.
But these kind of simple projects, sometimes you may be able to work on multiple CTQs just by improving a single process. Because the situation, the case what we are discussing is so simple. Can you see that? But if the case becomes so complex, you must restrict your attention to only one CTQ. You must restrict your attention to only one CTQ in your project. Don't try to fix everything. But however, this kind of call center project, in your survey, you can raise questions about multiple issues customer might be facing. Yes or no? right? Because the call holding time you can measure with the help of some measurement system. But how was the experience? Whether the query was actually resolved or not? Whether the call center executives was was very friendly during the conversation? These are other requirements, yes or no? When you talk to a call bank agent, the bank agent must talk to you in a very friendly manner, yes or no? If he is very rude, will you be happy? Straight away he says, "Say I'm busy, you call me afterwards." Then you will get irritated, isn't it? So their job is to know to help you always. So how can you measure this requirement? Whether the call center agent is friendly or not. Customer said, because
Customer rate.
how did you catch this word friendly? Your customers has told it in the survey. What do you expect? What kind of experience you expect from your, call center agents? Majority of the customer mentioned, the agent must be friendly. Like, how do you want the trainers to be while learning these kind of courses? All of you.
Polite communication.
Interactive.
Interactive.
Yeah, interactive. They must be, friendly. They must be, they must be always open to help you. Yes or no?
So one question here.
Yes.
In the call duration time, it was the continuous data which can be recorded and evaluated.
Correct.
Now, the second example is the discrete data and how to precisely evaluate the problem.
Correct. So see, whenever your data is continuous, you see in our chat box, we used the statistics average. What is the average call holding time? Suppose if you work with a criteria or a metric, where the data is discrete, let's say whether the query was resolved on the first call itself, first call resolution. All customers are made to call again and again. So out of 1,000 people called, your survey will include or your document will include whether the query is resolved in the first conversation itself, yes or no. After finishing 1,000 calls in a day, how many yes your center has received and how many no your center has received? Isn't it? Let's say out of 1,000 calls, let's say your team or your center is able to give the first call resolution only to 300 customers. But remaining 700 customers, their query is not resolved. They have to call back again. So what is the percentage of queries resolved in the first call itself? So this is known as proportion. First call resolution given divided by total calls received. FCR is 300, total call received is 1,000. So 300 by 1,000 is 0.3. 0.3 is known as proportion. Use the statistics proportion to understand, the current state if you are dealing with discrete data. Clear? For continuous data, average. And for discrete data, proportion. Please note, for every criteria, every CTQ, you must have a definition, you must have a formula, and you should be able to measure it with some unit of measurement. If it is proportion, you may not be able to measure in terms of minutes or something. It will always be in percentage. Can you see that, all of you? It will always be in percentage.
Yes, sir.
So now all of you are confident now you can handle any kind of scenario, whether it's a measurable characteristics you are working on, or is it a kind of attribute characteristics, then the proportion can be used. And right now we understand the first call resolution is 30%. Now what is your project goal? First call resolution must be improved from 30% to minimum 75%. Can you see a project opportunity here, all of you?
Yes, sir.
This is how I want you to prepare your project charter. The language, has to be very, very specific and bring more clarity to the project team first, sponsor first. Great.
Yes, sir.
Now think about the problem which you are trying to fix. Have you drilled down? Have you done similar drill down exercise? If not, you have to do it. List out all the CTQs and see whether every CTQ requires a separate project, or if the process looks so simple, you can take a call. Okay, no problem. I will fix all this problem in one go, in one project. But if if every metric, dealing with every metric, if the process is very complex, then you have to consider metrics one by one for improvement. Right? Okay. So now the CTQ thing is understood. And now tell me, for the same problem, to reduce the average call holding time, what is the process that needs to be improved? What is the process that needs to be improved?
Number of people can be increased.
Number of, yeah, you are talking, or yes, you are talking about the,
Controls.
yeah, maybe the root cause. Okay. So first of all, call holding time reduction. Yes, someone has to actually pick the call, isn't it? Someone has to actually come online. And maybe, sometimes what happens, the solution will be quite obvious, like straightforward, like our Prasad said, sir, you increase the number of agents. Just think about, how many calls. You must have record of, last 3 months, 1 year. You have an idea about how many calls you are getting. You also have a record of average call conversation time, yes or no? So you can straight away find out whether the number of executives are as per the requirement or not. According to the data, this particular, answering the call answering process, requires a particular number of executives, but then we have a shortage. And this is a case of a problem with the root cause obviously visible. Can you see that?
Yes, sir.
Root cause obviously visible. You have a shortage. So these kind of improvements, can be, done quickly. Sometimes it might require the management approval. That's all. You don't have to do any, deeper analysis here. You don't have to do any deeper analysis. And straight away, you can appoint people and then solve it. And these are known as, these kind of situations where root causes are quite obvious and solutions are quite obvious. They are not normally the candidates for DMAT. They are not the candidates for DMAT. But the bottle cap example, let's say the bottle, the cap, always there is a leakage. Or always, customers are complaining that, the torque is so tight that we are not able to open the cap. And now, will you be able to find out will you at least be able to find out the process that is actually creating the dissatisfaction? You all know water bottle manufacturing, right? What kind of processes will happen? There will be a bottle, there will be a cap, and there will be water somewhere, right? And then the bottle will come in a conveyor, and in the filling station, water will be filled, and then the cap will be placed, and then the cap must be
Right.
somehow, sealed. Right. And now, where the problem actually? Is there any problem with the conveyor?
No.
No. Is there any problem with the water filling station?
No.
No, we are not worried about. And is there a problem while adding the cap to the bottle?
No.
Possible.
Yes,
Can we
that's
set
where.
the torture?
Yeah, that's what we need to set the torque. And prior to that, first I want you to identify the process. So that is the point, that is the process that requires your attention first. Right? So the third stage where the cap is, added to the bottle, and that's where the improvement is required. Maybe it's a manual line or an automated line or whatever, let it be. But now your project, the project team's attention is required on the third station. Why third station? Because that's where the cap is, what to say, added to the your water bottles. And now, will you be able to identify the starting point of this particular stage 3?
Yes.
Starting point. If you stand there for some 20-30 minutes, will you be able to find out when the bottle arrives the station number 3? That moment can be captured.
Yes.
That is the starting point. And after the cap is actually screwed and then sealed, the bottle will leave the station for the next stage. Next stage is maybe some kind of what do you say? They put some label and then packaging and all start. And now the third stage, when it is completing, the moment the water bottle leaves the station 3, the process gets over. Am I understand? So do you understand? The starting point and ending point of the process, the moment are captured. In between these 2 points only, some improvement is required. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Now the starting point of the process and ending point of the process are understood. Now you have to, get into the details. You have to zoom in the scenario. What's exactly happening? How the torque is getting fixed in the machine, right? And what are the key steps that are happening as soon as the bottle arrives? What are the key steps the machine is doing? Capture those things, right? And the machine, what are the current settings of the machine? All these things needs to be captured and write the process in the as it is condition. Write down the steps of the process in the as it is condition. That completes your define phase. Now that you have developed a good understanding of a problem, you have expressed the current status of the problem. You are very clear with the customer requirement, upper limit, lower limit. You have found a way to measure it. And in addition to that, you have identified the process which is responsible for the current pain experienced by the customer. Can you see here? We have now identified the process. And the starting point of the process is identified. Ending point is also identified. The 3 to 5 important steps that are happening between the starting point and ending point are also identified. With these 5 steps in the process, you can now develop a small table which is known as Sipoc diagram. Small table or a diagram which is known as Sipoc. So Sipoc is an acronym that stands for supplier, input, process, output, and customer. Now, just to help you understand the concept easily, let me change the scenario, because even when I say the torque of the bottle cap, I do not know how many of you visited such facility. Yes or no? I have not visited. I have not personally had a deeper look at that machine. I don't know how the machine will be and how the torque is set and all those things. So we have to actually do that Gemba activity. We should go and see. Then only we will be able to better talk. So I'm going to avoid that example. I'm going to bring another simple example. Let us assume we are working on a project of reducing the waiting time of customers in a restaurant. Waiting time of customers in a restaurant. And when I say waiting time, first of all, we have to we have to ask ourselves, what is the definition of the waiting time? What waiting time you are concerned about? Is that you are waiting after placing the order? Or are you waiting for a table? Logical, isn't it?
Yes.
This understanding has to be developed. If you are just waiting for the table, and then that's a different project. You placed the order and then you are waiting for the food to come. That is another different project. Let's say, no, we are in our project, we are concerned about the waiting time to receive the food. And now, what is the starting point for this particular, what is the process we need to focus now for this particular project? Let's say a company, a chain of restaurant has hired you. You are the consultant now. Because this particular restaurant, they want to open another 100 branches across India. Prior to that, they wanted to develop their processes. And they think that they are serving lesser number of customers in a given day, and so they have to develop on their process. And one metric they understood is the food must be served as fast as possible after receipt of the order. Now you are the consultant, you are the black belt, you are the green belt. Now tell me, how will you help the restaurant manager to improve this, to work on this waiting time? Now you all know the meaning of waiting time, right?
Yes, sir.
You can give a special name also. Waiting time for the food delivered. That too, no, only for the walking customer, not for the delivery. Walk-in customers, as soon as they place an order, as soon as they occupy a table and then the order is collected, the food must be served to that same table, in the shortest time possible. Now, will you, all of you, just tell me, you don't have to write, just tell me, will you be able to write down a proper definition now? First of all, what is the name we can give? Waiting time looks generic. Can you give an attractive time now?
Food
Attractive
preparation
name
time.
now? Food?
Food preparation and preparation time.
Yeah, food preparation time is a subset of our project metric. I want you to give a good name for our project metric. Order to delivery. It is the time between order to delivery, right? So table order lead time. Can we say table order lead time?
Yeah, sir.
Looks
Yes.
logical, right?
Technical.
Table order lead time. And now the definition. Will you be able to write down a definition now for the table order lead time?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
The time lapsed between the order is taken by the waiter
And the delivery
and the food is delivered
To the table.
to the
to
table.
the table.
Okay.
This is the table order lead time. A new metric we are suggesting to the restaurant manager. Restaurant manager will now be extremely happy with your approach, yes or no? They will definitely come forward to pay you good money, which they have not thought about earlier. They thought everything can be fixed by having a generic approach. But your approach is now very specific. So it gives a lot of confidence to get the problem solved. Okay, definition is available. And now, like you all told me average call holding time, how will you understand the current state?
The total
Question.
order versus order delivered.
And yes, every single order, see, they're all using smart devices nowadays, tablet or something. As soon as they take the order, immediately it goes to the kitchen. These are all because of this thinking only. Please note, earlier, no restaurant had the tablets and all these things. They physically, take the order and make a big announcement. Table number 4, 2 set puri. Table number 7, 2 set dosa. And all of them now changed it to smart way of communication. That is only to minimize the lead time. Can you see that? So starting time and ending time, anyway, their system is capturing. Now, the situation looks very complex for you to think, yes or no? Because they deal with hundreds of dishes.
Yes.
They deal with hundreds of dishes. Would you like to include all the dishes in the scope of your project?
No, sir.
No. Can you figure out the fast moving dishes? Will you have some data to find out 80-20 principle again?
Yes.
Fast moving dishes. What are the items moving fast in the morning? What are the items moving fast in the afternoon? What are the items moving fast in the evening? Pick up any one session, morning or afternoon or evening, and list down the fast moving items. For those items alone, you have to collect the data. For those items alone, the data must be separated. Do you get my point, all of you? Let's say morning is the quite challenging time. Everybody want to go to office and everybody want a quick service. But your hotel is not able to do it. So in the morning, the fast moving items, let's say some 6 items are found to be very fast moving. Idli, dosa, chapati, puri and something. Pongal. For these 6 items, will you be able to separate out the table order lead time? The table order lead time for the morning dishes, the current state is found to be 12.5 minutes. Current state is found to be 12.5 minutes. You will be able to calculate, yes or no? Now, can you bring down this 12.5 minutes to less than 5 minutes? Now you understand, the project opportunity. Yes or no?
Sir.
Now there is a project opportunity. And now when you actually break down the table order delivery time starts with the moment the customer has communicated the order. Starting point can be captured.
Yes.
Starting point can be captured. And now your order will be waiting in the kitchen. Yes or no? Because the chef is busy making other items. Your order will be waiting in the kitchen. Let's say it waits for about 40 seconds or 90 seconds or 130 seconds. That should also be captured. And then he actually starts making the dish. This is known as the dish preparation time. The preparation time for masala dosa is different. The preparation time for onion dosa is different. The preparation time for puri is different. So you dish wise, you have to measure the preparation time. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now the finished product is placed on the table in the kitchen, waiting for the waiter to, uh, pick up the item. Now, what is the third component? The prepared dish is waiting to get picked up. Now, the fourth component, the waiter picks up and then bring it to the table. Now, how many components? 4 components. If you develop this much level of understanding, for sure you will be able to fix. At the same time, collecting data which is not necessary to fix the problem must also be avoided. Right? If something is really not required and then you unnecessarily collect so much data, that should also be avoided. So just ask yourself whether everything is required and then act accordingly. Suppose you realize the preparation time for masala dosa is taking more time. That is the culprit. And now we move on to the analyze phase, because we have done a portion of define and measure here. See, define and measure sometimes can go parallelly. And now analyze phase. And now why the masala dosa preparation time is taking too much time? Who are all involved in preparation of masala dosa? Will you be able to think? What is the first step? What is the next step? What is the third step? What is the final step in masala dosa? And who are all involved? They are the stakeholders. Some batter is required. Potato masala is required. And some maybe some kind of other ingredients are required. So somebody prepares the ingredients and make it available for the chef. He is the supplier now. He is the supplier. And the process is just making dosa. It is just a one step discussion is enough. We make the dosa. For whom we make the dosa? For the person waiting in the table, right? But then before giving the dosa to the table, the dosa must be given to the
Waiter.
waiter. Waiter has certain requirement. And what is the waiter's requirement? The dosa must be placed in the proper plate so that he can straight away deliver. Otherwise, he has to pay, he has to do something else. So what are the requirements of the waiter now? The waiter has to serve this dosa along with the sambar, along with chutney, or otherwise if sambar chutney are available on the table itself, then just the dosa on the plate will do. So the waiter's requirement is understood. And now once the dosa comes to the waiter's hand, now it is going to the person waiting on the table, nothing but you. And your requirement now the waiter has to understand. You just don't want a dosa alone. You need the side dishes also to be served. So every process step is understood. The customer is understood. The supplier is understood. Can you see that? Right? And customer has certain requirement. All the requirements should be fulfilled by the output coming from the process. Suppose if you are the person sitting in the table and the waiter is bringing you the dosa, tell me what will you expect when you are served with a plate of dosa?
Hot dosa.
Should be hot.
Hot, very good.
Tasty.
So he has to quickly bring it, yes or no? If he just leaves your dosa for 5 minutes there itself, then that will lead to dissatisfaction. Your requirement may not get fulfilled. So as soon as the dosa is placed on the table, he should immediately pick up and bring it. Very good. One requirement is temperature.
Another one, side dishes we talked.
Your side dishes must be added. He has to ensure he adds the side dishes or bring another kind of the in some other arrangement. He should provide you all the side dishes. Okay.
Quality of raw
Then
materials. Quality of
quantity of raw material, that won't come here in this stage. Here now dosa is ready already. And now the plate must be clean.
Yes.
All right. And then he has to place your plate
The
properly
way
on your table.
the way it is presented, that is also important.
Exactly. It has to be presented nicely. And you also need some glass of water along with it.
Yes.
These are all your requirements. The moment you understand who is the customer, his requirements can be understood. And you have to now build a process which can meet all these requirements through his output. All right. And for the process to go through and produce the output, it needs a lot of ingredients. Somebody spoke raw materials and things like that. Yes or no? And somebody is made responsible to ensure all these inputs are readily available for the process. The person who is made responsible to ensure the ready availability of the raw materials is known as the supplier.
Supplier.
Supplier is not always, someone supplying you the material from, other city. No, he is here right in your, near your kitchen. He is made responsible for making sure the raw materials are always available for the chef, for all the fast moving dishes in the morning. He even cuts the onion and keep it ready in the cut condition. At the same time, it remains fresh. All of you understand what Sipoc is now?
Yes, sir.
For every step, you must identify what is the step about. That step, what kind of output it is producing, and who is receiving that output. Every stage, there is a customer existing, and then every stage raw material required, and so every stage a supplier also exists. Now let's quickly do a small develop a Sipoc diagram ourselves for this particular scenario, and then you will be able to develop the Sipoc for any project. I just open the same. I think this Excel file I've already shared, yes or no? Sigma level calculator.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. So this you have. Hereafter, we'll be frequently using this. Now I'm just opening a sheet. I'm going to name it Sipoc. And now this is supplier input, process, output, customer. Okay. So now what is the first process? Customer places order. Order placed. And now raw materials arranged. Correct?
Yes.
Raw materials arranged. Then order processed.
Preparation.
It may be dosa or whatever. Or we will say the food prepared. Particular item, food item prepared. Food item made. And now it is getting
ready to deliver.
Picked by the waiter. And now it is
Delivered.
delivered. So these are the critical steps. Yes, Satish, you want to ask something now?
Yes, sir. Sir, how deeper we need to list down these processes, like on a high level or detailed level would be good.
See, this is a very simple process actually. What we are talking is simple. Why we are taken the simple? You all can fully understand everything whatever I'm saying here. That is the
Yes.
idea.
Yes.
But when you actually go to a process, chemical process industry or manufacturing industry or maybe a hospital, no, you really you definitely need the people who are associated with the process, to talk clearly. Right? That is the point. And to the extent possible, nothing wrong in writing down the specific steps involved. Nothing wrong. You want to show 10 steps instead of 5, it is most welcome. But but while drawing a Sipoc, showing 5 to 8 steps is enough, not more than that. If a process has hundreds of steps, you don't have to write 100, all 100. Just show 5 steps. And imagine our certification process here. What are the steps involved? First step, you have to make the payment. Then second step,
Registration.
you have to submit all the documents. Third step, you must attend the training. Fourth step, you must write an exam and then qualify. And then fifth step, the certificate, is
Will be
printed,
provided.
dispatched. How many steps I am showing?
5 steps.
5.
Only 5. 5 major steps. But in between these 5 major steps, there can be many, many other things happening. You are doing assignment, you are attending Wednesday classes, Thursday classes, you are writing mock exam, so many things, but everything need not be given in a detailed manner at this stage. But if you want to give, and it's very much helpful.
Okay.
Okay, so now coming here, order is placed, and when the customer tells an order, the output, what is the output? You get
Order
the
full.
details of the food. That is the
Food.
output, isn't it?
Yes.
How many? What is the item and how many item? Right? I'll just write it here. What item and how many? These are the output. This must be captured properly. And then who is the customer now? All these
The
things should
customer
go
is
to the
order.
chef.
We
Chef.
next process.
All these things, should go to the chef. And now, as soon as the item is, order has received in the kitchen, and now the raw materials. What are the raw materials required? Suppose if it is masala dosa, as we discussed, onion,
Batter,
Batter.
some potato,
onion, potato,
and maybe some
Oil.
oil, ghee,
oil,
whatever. All of these things, are the raw materials required. And now who will be supplying? Maybe the assistant, kitchen chef assistant or someone, or the chef himself. That is also possible.
store.
Because lean is also important, right? You can't have, so many resources. So the chef himself will make arrangements. And now for whom these things are arranged? So that, the chef can actually, make the items,
Yes.
right? Or what we can do is we can straight away bring this step here. Food item made. And now when the food item is made, and this is for the waiter.
Waiter.
What is the output here coming here once the food item is made?
Prepared food. Masala dosa.
The exact masala dosa ordered. Right? And now the waiter will become the supplier for the next step. Right? So here, I feel like, these steps can be removed. Right? So the waiter, he collects the item and also picks the appropriate item. And then what else he should do? And how do you call the chutney, sambar, and other things?
Side
Side
dish.
dish.
And
Side
then,
dish. Water.
yes, the water and the side dish. All these things he now needs so that, he can deliver it, well presented masala dosa. That is the output. Can you see that, all of you? And this is going to the customer, which is you. Can you see the process that is happening in the particular restaurant now? How many steps we have considered now? How many steps we are showing now?
3.
3.
Only 3. And now who are the parties involved? Assistants, chef, waiter. These are the party involved from the supplier point of view. Who are the party involved on the customer point of view? Again, the chef, waiter, and you. Totally, there are only 3 people who are involved in the whole process. If these people understand their responsibility, understand the requirements of each other very well, the process can deliver, perform very well, to the satisfaction of the end user. Clear, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The suppliers are visualized, customers are visualized. See here, this is end user. You are an end user. Whereas he is an internal customer now. The waiter is suppose if the chef purposely delays, because this particular waiter, he is not having a smooth relationship. So he purposely delays his item. No? So those things, can happen. So now the customer is an internal customer. This is also internal customer. So the requirements of all the internal customers must be fulfilled so that the end user experience can be great. Now you look at any kind of a project document, any Sipoc, and you will be able to understand what it is. Okay. So I will quickly now show you the relevant slides and show that you will be able to connect. I think we have discussed enough, but the slides will now be self-explanatory. See here, customer is explained. The problem here is, good customer service. And now we are drilling down. Good service means knowledgeable representative, friendly representative, short waiting time. Knowledgeable representative means answer should be always correct. Like again, a call center. Representative can answer the question on the spot. Then only he is considered knowledgeable, isn't it? See, by drilling down, a generic problem or generic requirement is converted to specific requirement. Researched information is returned quickly. Friendly representative means customer is greeted by name. Hello, Mr. Prasad. How can I help you today? And now Prasad feels, very friendly. Oh, this person is calling you, calling me, talking to me by my name. And when the customer explains, and customer is allowed to talk, not interrupted. Short waiting time. It means time placed on hold. Whenever escalation is required, that escalation is done quickly. Customer is transferred quickly to the person who can help them. Do you understand the Ctq tree here, all of you?
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
You may also have to develop this kind of tree so that you will also gain a clear understanding on the customer requirement. So there are several examples I want you to go through and then come back and ask the questions. So similarly, in different industries and different metrics needs to be improved. See here, dimensional requirements, surface finish, strength related requirements, the speed, the performance, the speed of performance of the electronic gadgets, and the tonnage related specifications of household appliances, and fast moving consumer goods, the fill volume, and ability to meet the FSSA norms. And similarly, in the automobile industries, the mileage, and then electric scooter, the range, the self weight, payload. Similarly, in the banking industry, what is the account balance, interest rate, loan processing time? These are all the metrics that may require to be improved to ensure customer satisfaction. And similarly, some internal requirement you see here: process capability, work in process, defect ratio, process cycle time, first pass yield, machine downtime, takt time, cycle time. These are all your technical requirements which you speak internally. These are known as voice of business. Do you understand? But for customer, it is on-time delivery. But on-time delivery depends on your cycle time. Yes or no? So projects can be identified not only from the voice of the customer, but also from the voice of the business. Okay, I want to show you a few more things. See, X, this is important, X, Y, and Z. We are now talking everything about Y. We are talking everything about Y. In the analyze phase, we'll talk everything about X later on. It is better not to talk anything about the X during the define phase. Don't write also. Please only describe Y. And Z are nothing but the results organization can expect from the project. Z are nothing but the results. This is what we call them as business case, right? So there is a clear difference between X, Y, and Z. Don't mix up things. Okay. And in this manner, no, you will be able to identify so many projects. You can interact with customers, perform an analysis, VOC analysis, interact with the leaders within the organization, managers within the organization, perform VOB analysis, refer to the data about all the failures, which is known as cost of poor quality analysis. And now you will be flooded with so many project opportunities. Right? And if you don't want to go through this exercise, you can always identify, you can always list the project ideas using the shortcut method, which is brainstorm. Straight away ask the departments to present their problems. They can definitely list down dozens of problems, and then you can combine all of them, listed in a single, made in a single Excel, is known as project hopper. So many problems. And some of them are defect reduction project, which we call them as Six Sigma project. Some of them are waste elimination project. We call them as lean project. In some projects, you might have to do both. You have to eliminate the defect also. You have to eliminate the waste also. They are known as lean Six Sigma project. But the beauty is all of them can be executed using the same methodology. The methodology is always DMAIC, define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. But some projects will be called as DFSS. Let us read the heading of the project. Increase dryer capacity of Rubin toner from 45 tons per month to 80 tons per month. Do you understand? They are doubling, they are almost doubling their capacity. That means they have to procure new machines, they have to appoint new operator, they have to have a new facility. Can you see that? A new line is brought into the company. These kind of projects are normally initiated from the top only. Capacity expansion, yes or no? This is known as top-down approach. But the other projects based on customer complaint, internal complaint, cost of poor quality, these are projects identified from the bottom-up approach. Because bottom-up projects, they don't require much budget, but the projects that are coming from the top, installing a new line, developing a new product, entering into a new market, everything is possible only with some huge budget. Those projects are known as DFSS project. What does DFSS stands for? Design
Design
for
Design for Six Sigma.
Six Sigma.
Yeah. So, and then department-wise categorization is also available. Saving potential is also indicated, and all these informations will be later on helpful. And see here, this is some projects in food industry, reducing the distribution cost. See here, the title is, looking vague. They are talking about distribution cost. The process of distribution needs improvement. What is the CTQ you will look at? Probably no. The CTQ may be the time taken to deliver or time taken to distribute. So likewise, enhancement in the productivity. And these are all only title of the project and not the problem statement. Title is different, problem statement is different. Business case is different, goal statement is different, scope statement is different. Right? And then only if the process is understood, you can develop the Sipoc diagram. Six Sigma projects in military industry. They improved fuel efficiency and reduced the repair cycle time for military aircraft. Isn't it? The repair cycle time has to be very minimal. So projects are possible. And in healthcare, reducing medical error, managing patient appointment so that patient don't have to wait. You just go to the hospital and then quickly you will be allowed to see the doctor, whom you want to consult. So project hopper. And now this project Pareto, yes, Pareto was explained to you already. You all know. This is how the Pareto will look like in a decreasing order. And Pareto can always, take you deeper into the stages. This is known as stratification or subdivision Pareto. Okay, these are Pareto. There are different types exist, and depending on the requirement, you can go. Stratification means slowly, getting into the deeper details, finer details. Pareto can be used to validate visual validation. What is the situation before the project? What is the situation after the project? Before Pareto, after Pareto. And sometimes you can convert the frequencies into some weightages. Let's say 100 defects. 100 defects happened, but how much is the money lost? You can convert the numbers into dollars. So instead of using merely the frequency, you can convert into an appropriate unit and then use it in the Pareto, that is weighted Pareto. And this is required to align your efforts in line with the organization's objective. So this is about the Pareto. And now the project charter. Yes, I think project charter we already discussed in detail, isn't it? You all know the 6 elements of the project charter, business case. So I'm not actually explaining. I'm only moving the slides because ultimately I want you to see the Sipoc here. All that we have explained you. But always, it is good to have your questions and then, getting it answered, when to gain a deeper understanding on every topic. So these are all part of your project charter. Yes. And now this is important. This is what, we just now discussed, Sipoc. So supplier, input, process, output, customer. And see here, the process is getting visualized. Can you see that? This is in the banking industry. What is the process that is considered for improvement? Credit card ordering. If somebody applies for a credit card and it has to be processed, and if the person is found eligible, order will be created, by the bank. Once the order is created, no worries. It is further thing is, only dispatch. Can you see the process, getting visualized? How many stages are captured here? Only 5 stages. Enter the order, perform the credit check, and then order for the credit card, and then send a communication to the applicant, and then do the form, document the details within your company. So this is the process. And see here, there is the salesperson involved here, card requester involved here. And this is a simple case of making photocopy and what are the items required and who are the supplier and what is the final output. Final output is the copy. And then for whom you are making the copies? For yourself, for filing some, for inserting in the file, I mean for documenting. And then you want to put some copies in the notice board, some copies you want to send it to the management. Understand all the customers and what are their requirements. If I want to put this or a particular document in a notice board, I may require it in a bigger output, bigger size. So in that manner, it is required. See, similar to the example we discussed, here an example is given for reducing the pizza delivery time. A pizza outlet actually, worked on a project to reduce the pizza order lead time. Look at the suppliers involved here. Look at the stakeholders involved. Store cashier is part of your project, yes or no? Because he is the one who understands the order is received. Store cashier or store manager. Then cooking assistant. Then the delivery person, the cook himself. All of them, are appearing as supplier. And on the other side, you see again the store cashier, pizza making person, nothing but the chef, and then the delivery person, and then finally the person who placed the order. Can you see all the parties involved in this, particular order processing? In general, we call them as stakeholders. And this is the process. You see here, customer places the order, then the details are transferred to the cook, then the pizza is cooked, and then the pizza is boxed, then the pizza is delivered, and the delivery person now returns back so that he is available for the next. Can you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps indicated? The starting step is clear, ending step is clear, and every step, what is the output? In order to understand, you write the right output, you first understand who is the customer who will be receiving the output. To the store manager or the store cashier, you as an end user, you place the order. Now, what are the information you should give him? You should give your payment detail. You should also give the cooking instruction as well as the delivery instruction. Yes or no? Where exactly you? So in this manner, if you write, no, you will, no, later this will become, no, very good document to analyze the root causes and then fix it also. So this is self-explanatory, not a very complex tool. It's a very simple tool, but then extremely powerful. And this is a Sipoc diagram developed for a welding process. And again, if some of you are connected to the welding, then you will be able to better understand. I would recommend you to know, read it yourself. And these are the recap points. So Sipoc stands for supplier, input, process, output, and customer. Sipoc will only include high-level view of the process. You don't have to indicate everything. Just show 5 to 8 steps, enough. The start and end points of the process must be indicated correctly. And Sipoc also helps in visualizing all the stakeholders and the project boundaries. All right, so this completes my presentation. I think now all of you are in a good position to develop a project charter for your first project. Am I right? If all of you could work
Yes.
on a small assignment, maybe you can group yourself. Maybe the 10 people you can divide into 2 or 3, and then try to spend some time within yourself and develop a one-page document, project charter. If you do this exercise, and then if you are able to present it in a convincing manner, that the sponsor, can immediately take a decision to support your project. That means, you have got a great understanding about the design phase. All right. So this completes our first session. We can now take a short break. And any questions you want to ask now or right after your break, it's most welcome. Right. So
Okay.
think in this line,
Yes.
15 minutes break. So 11:30 we'll again join back. And if there are questions that will be clarified, then we move forward with the next topic.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay.